everyone, so I know I've been promising a little instrument setup video. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the instruments that I've been using. So I've been a student since 2019 in dental hygiene, and this is really how I set up my instruments. So at Forsyth, we're using the Hue 3D instruments, and overall they're great. They're ergonomically friendly. I never feel like my hands are truly cramping up with them unless I am not gripping them correctly. I was also going to make a little video on what instrument does what and how to hold them, find the correct working end, little like tips and tricks and hints, but I think I'm going to put that off to see how well this video goes, and then if people want more content that revolves around how to use the instruments, then I'll totally make some. I'll add like a little poll and we can vote on it. That'd be amazing. So we'll get started. So let's jump right in. So I always keep this cassette right here with my exploring instruments to the closest side of me. So when I'm sitting in the chair, they are on the left-hand side. That's just where I feel comfortable having them. So we have our mirror. The nice thing about these mirrors is that they're dual-sided. You wouldn't know that they're so great until you've used one that only has the mirror on one side and you're suffering to see an area where you could use this, like retracting lips or cheeks. This really comes in handy. I always try to keep it away from my 11-12 Explorer because I do keep it next to it, but we don't want to scratch when they get sterilized. So here we have our 11-12 Explorer. We have our neighbor's probe. We have our UNC probe. And we have our Bumblebee probe, which is the plastic probe that you use on implants because you don't want to scratch them. So this is really good. I've actually never used this yet. Sometimes when you're exploring in the mouth and you find something that you're unsure of, this is what I grab first because you never want to poke anything with the Explorer. So that's when it does come in handy. But I haven't seen one person with an implant yet. Hopefully soon, maybe we'll see somebody. But I also keep my sharpening stone underneath. And make sure when you're going to shut the cassette that your probes are not pointing towards the outside of the cassette because you don't want anyone to get stabbed and you also don't want them to get bent. All right, moving on to our second side of the cassette. So what I have over here, and I like to keep them separated, that's just my preference, and this order is definitely preference as well. I'm pretty type A, so I like to keep everything nice and neat, so I don't really have to look at the cassette when I'm grabbing something. I can just grab it and know that it's in the right spot. So we have our anterior and posterior sickles, so the anterior and the posterior. And then I keep a little space here to keep all my Gracies to one side. So we have the Gracie 1-2, the Gracie 11-12, then we have the 13-14, and the universal. So when I first started, I think I was really hesitant to use the Gracies. So I was always using the universal, but you have to be very careful because the universal has two cutting edges, which is this instrument over here. You just have to be super careful. I don't think the camera's gonna zoom, but, oh, there we go, focus. Perfect. So you just have to be careful because it does have that dual cutting edge. And like I said, if you guys want another instrumentation video, we can totally do it. And then this back here pops right off. It's just to test if your instruments are sharp enough. You can see mine really hasn't been used that much because, again, like I said, this is my cassette for my typodont for practice. This cassette has never actually been inside somebody's mouth. So when you're closing your cassette, always, always, always make sure that your instruments are not poking through the bottom here. Watch your hands, especially when you're doing it with a dirty cassette. And you clip, and you come back over to the other side, and you do the same thing. Like I said, make sure that your probes aren't going to poke anybody. And when you are turning the instruments, don't ever grab them from here like I did before. I'm just demonstrating when they are dirty and you have gloves on. Always rotate from the handle because you don't want to poke yourself, stab yourself, or get hurt. Again, try to make sure that everything is in the right position. No one's gonna get stabbed. Your mirror is not gonna get all scratched up. And then you just push again. And once you're done pushing down each area, you take your cassettes, you bring them together, you find the alignment, you close it, this part right here, make sure that it's in, like that. You line them up, line the top one up too, you can't see it, but then you twist, and your cassette is closed. And you can see there's no instruments popping out. Everything's in there all right. You're gonna use utility gloves anyways to bring it to sterilization, but now you know that if you're to pick it up with exam gloves, which you never do, that you won't get stabbed. All right, I think that covers it. Let me know if you guys want another video on instrumentation, skills, anything like that. All right, thanks, bye.